please don't forget to subscribe, because a lot of people that watch my videos don't subscribe apparently, and hit that bell so you stay informed with the latest and greatest videos from this channel. I'm also live every day on twitch.tv/HasanAbi after 11 a.m. Pacific. We are going to talk about the California stay-at-home orders being lifted as well. Governor Newsom has canceled California's COVID-19 stay-at-home orders. Of course, the number of COVID infections or newly COVID-infected patients were going down. It's 0.7%, I think, right now. And I thought, you know, it is getting a little bit better. So as soon as it gets a little bit better, boom, COVID restrictions are taken away. Now, there are two problems with this. The ICU capacity is still at 0%. Last time I checked, I might be wrong on that. The problem here, though, is if you are lifting COVID stay-at-home orders when no one is fucking following them, it doesn't even mean anything. If you are going to open up restaurants when the ICU capacity is at 0%, just because like the new number of infections is going down, well, that seems a little dangerous to do. But on the other hand, if you're going to keep the restaurants to exclusively outdoor dining, then I mean, who cares at that point? Like, you have so many fucking, literally what the far right said he was going to do makes people following the orders look like idiots. I don't know. I think that the big problem here is ICU capabilities. Okay, the ICU capacity. I don't have a massive problem with reopening outdoor dining, because it's not the outdoor dining that was a fucking problem with the current spike in COVID. It was the fact that people were getting together for holidays and getting COVID when they got together inside for holidays. We had outdoor dining for months in Canada. The numbers increased because of schools opening up and people getting together for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Diwali, Christmas. Yeah. I think the big problem isn't necessarily outdoor dining. The problem is like indoors, whatever the fuck is going on indoors. As long as you have outdoor dining, follow the rules and restrictions put in place where there's still some form of social distancing happening. I get what you're saying, but I feel like you have a city that's as bad as COVID as LA is right now. The lockdown should be very strict. People aren't even fucking following it either. So I don't know what to do. If you go outside right now in California, you would not know that there are COVID restrictions in place. You just would not know. I think this is going to be disastrous regardless, but not necessarily disastrous because of the outdoor dining, but disastrous because not enough contact tracing, potentially new strains popping up, and also because of all the other businesses that are going to reopen, like nail salons and hair salons and indoor gyms and shit like that. Why are you making shit up? People are wearing their masks outside in Cali. You don't even leave your house. How would you know? Wait, when the fuck did I say people don't wear masks outside in California, dumbass? First of all, I do leave my fucking house. I leave my house in the mornings. And secondly, I never said that people don't wear masks outside. They do. I'm talking about businesses being open, traffic, people driving from place to place. Also, there's no like mask mandate being lifted. The mask mandate is still a thing. Could a homegrown coronavirus strain be partly to blame for California's surge? California scientists have discovered a homegrown coronavirus strain that appears to be propagating faster than any other variant loose in the Golden State. It was a new strain that's highly transmissible variant from the UK, established itself here. Instead, they found a new branch of the virus's family tree, one whose sudden rise and distinctive mutations have made it a prime suspect. There was a new strain that was barely detectable in early October. It accounted for 24% of roughly 4,500 viral samples gathered throughout California in the last weeks of 2020. In a separate analysis, called mostly from the Northern California during late November, December, 25% were the same type. So we're thinking that there's like I guess they're saying that there's a new strain. All right, let's see what the fuck it... I know the new UK strain was in Colorado. I think there's one in California, and there is also... It was found in Michigan as well. We don't know if the new strain works with the current vaccines, the California one. It also doesn't say if it's like more deadly or not. The Howard team found that the mutation helps the virus attach more firmly to human cells, potentially enhancing its transmission. Oh, maybe. Other scientists will explore whether the antibody generated the immune systems of people who have been infected or vaccinated against the coronavirus will recognize this new strain. I think it's more deadly because it's more viral. Oftentimes, more viral viruses or a more viral strain of that same virus is not as deadly because it renders you useless. Well, I guess it depends on the pre-symptomatic. It depends on how quickly it fucking goes through your body. If it's more contagious, usually it's not as deadly because the more contagious means that the more you're able to fucking run around in the pre-symptomatic phases because it doesn't knock you out immediately. Bad take? No, there are different factors, obviously. No, bro, the way these COVID strains spread is due to more virus particles per aerosol emitted. I meant that the death toll would be higher because it's more viral, thus more cases. Not that it has a higher mortality rate among those who already have it, but more people will get it than before. Yes. That's why I said it's not always the ironclad law that a virus that's more contagious will always be less deadly. Anyway, Dr. Fauci on new travel bans could affect spread of new COVID-19 variants. Let's see what he has to say. I got to pee while this plays.
Joining us again.
I'll be back in 1 second.
This morning. So we've seen this announcement of the travel ban from South Africa, reimposing travel bans.
Yeah, there's a travel ban from South Africa. There's a travel ban, I think, from the UK as well. We are implementing travel bans for non-U.S. travelers coming from the UK, South Africa, a bunch of other places.
Other areas, but at this point, are they really going to do any good?
You know, I believe so, George. I think that was a prudent decision because right now, even though our surveillance isn't as comprehensive as we'd like it to be yet, it does not appear that this particular mutant is in the United States, although it well may be. But I think the ban, which was discussed very intensively by the group, was the right decision.
Let's talk about these variants. I know you're concerned about the South African variant. Not sure if it's here yet. We've gotten some evidence over the last several days that the United Kingdom variant is actually more deadly. Explain what we're finding.
Yeah, you know, at the beginning, George, when it was first studied intensively in the UK scientists made a statement which was clearly obvious that this was more easily spread, i.e. more transmissible. When they looked at it, it did not look like on a case-by-case basis that it was actually more virulent, is the word they use, namely more likely to make you seriously ill or kill you. When they went and became more granular and looked at the data, they became convinced that it is, in fact, a bit more virulent, namely making it more difficult when you get to the point of serious disease and even death. He's very serious. He said science is going to rule. We're going to go by the facts. We're going to go by the evidence. We're going to go by the data. If something is wrong, like I just said, we're going to just try and fix it. And we're going to pull out all the stops to get our arms around this. Getting the vaccine situation on track is his highest priority. So, I mean, the idea that the president himself sits down with you and says, I want science to rule, go out.
Okay, this stuff is fucking jerk sesh, okay? Yeah, oh, he says he believes in science. Okay, cool. It doesn't fucking matter right now, though. The reason why Newsom is canceling the COVID stay-at-home orders is because, one, a lot of people didn't even fucking follow them, and two, because the number of new cases are going down despite the fact that the ICUs are still at 0% capacity, which is devastating. Lastly, the real reason why he's doing it is because a lot of businesses are fucking freaking out, understandably freaking out, because they're in a horrible situation. And opening shit up, closing it, or sorry, 100% capacity, I mean, 0%, there are 0% new beds available, 0% availability for ICUs. The restaurant industry is fucking dying. I feel like for a lot of businesses, for a lot of bars, for example, who just like did not reopen at all, it was a worse move overall for them to go out and reopen and then close and then reopen again and close, because there is so much logistically that you have to do to reopen a restaurant or a bar that you have to fucking throw out when you no longer are open. All the accounting that takes place, all the food that you have to purchase. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to dump it? You're going to sell it? What are you going to do with all that shit? Yeah, destroying service industry will tank farms too. That's another problem, is there are people that you're hiring, rehiring, and then firing again. Like, all of those restaurants have people that work in them that rely on these restaurants to exist so they can fucking survive, even if they are literally being forced to starvation wages. Hazan, a sin for capitalist businesses? Yes. The problem here is that, as always, the government is not doing enough to help the small businesses, but more importantly, the government is not doing enough to help the workers. That's it. That's the real issue. Has Trump or administration used to get a job buy enough vaccines? Serious question. No, they didn't. They bought less than they could have. And not only that, but Pfizer, I believe, just recently won a case that said that if there were extra doses within the vaccines they were shipping out, it counts as an additional vaccine. No matter what happens, we didn't do proper spread mitigation. We did not fucking shut down for an extended period of time in an effort to make sure that it never spiked over a certain level of new cases of COVID. And we certainly did not offer financial compensation while that shutdown was happening. We did everything half-assed. And in some places in America, we never even did anything. Like, there were never any sort of like serious protective measures. And so now, of course, we're going to be in this situation. Another problem with our vaccination efforts so far has been the fact that out of the 20 million vaccines that have been delivered, only half of them have been used. Now people are having a hard time receiving the second dosage of the vaccine. It's fucking insane, dude. And ironically, places like Oklahoma or places like Texas actually have better distribution methods than other places like even Los Angeles, where in Oklahoma, as I've talked about before, they do a roll call for whoever's in the region when at the end of the day or at the end of a certain hour, if they have additional vaccines, they say, come through and we'll fucking hit you with that vax, baby. And that, surprisingly, is a better way of distributing or delivering vaccines to as many people as possible than whatever the fuck they're doing in... I don't even know what the fuck they're doing in LA, if we're being honest. Where are the vaccines? Like, I don't have as big as an issue with outdoor dining as long as the restrictions are followed, as long as, like, there is actually fucking social distancing. It's still much better than indoor dining, obviously. And if that's going to help out these businesses in the absence of, like, the government literally fucking helping them out, this is unfortunately, this is one of the few ways that you can, this is one of the few ways that you can allow businesses to survive. The problem is no one is going to fucking follow outdoor dining. People are going to try to do indoor dining regardless. And then cases are going to start skyrocketing again, not necessarily because of outdoor dining, but because of fucking nail salons, hair salons, and gyms that are opening up again. That's the real fucking issue. We're not there to reopen, and the problem is whenever we like talk about lifting restrictions, we literally talk about lifting restrictions as though it's like a binary. Either you have full restrictions and everyone's supposed to stay indoors and, like, at gunpoint we're locked away in our houses, which this time around people didn't even fucking follow through, or you have no restrictions and everything goes. The only places in which COVID is not as significant as a problem is places where they had super strict lockdown measures and are now they had, like, unironically a binary, like gunpoint style super strict lockdown measures, and they no longer have those super strict lockdown measures. Don't tell me about Sweden when the same fucking public health officials in Sweden literally said, no, we fucked up. Sweden's own public health officials openly admitted that they fucked up when they saw another gigantic spike in Sweden, as they had originally claimed would not fucking happen, okay?
After an initial spike in deaths, the Swedish numbers fell, and by the end of the summer, it looked like the country's more relaxed approach to lockdown might work out. Authorities were so...
And everyone was fucking flexing in Sweden too, like, oh dude, look at us, we're working.
...confident that in September, they lifted a ban on visiting care homes. Just a few months later, contagion spiked. Hospitals were overrun and the death rate surged. The Swedish pandemic model had apparently failed. Sweden now far outpaces its neighbours in per capita deaths. The Prime Minister has admitted the death toll revealed a failure. In retrospect, he said, things should have been done differently.
The IMF already said back in October that the idea of closing the country to get a hold of the pandemic would damage the economy more than leaving it open is wrong, and they proved it by showing how countries that did harsh closure had bigger GDP recovery in the last quarter. Yeah, China is a great example of this. Most countries that had harsh restrictions that have been able to recover have shown to be successful in their economic recovery. Turns out they were fucking right. And countries that did not have that, where COVID is still ravaging them, are not doing all right. What about economies that can't handle full lockdown for long times? If you can't handle full lockdowns for a long enough time, you probably need the lockdown more than anyone else. A continued COVID pandemic in your country is going to fuck up your fucking economy even worse. That's literally the point we're making. It's like the anti-maskers who were like saying we need to return to fucking regular order of business, right? And what did I say even back then, even last fucking year? Everybody wants to go back to normal. Of course everyone wants to go back to normal, but the quickest way to go back to normal is by aggressive measures being put in place right now. Just shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, make sure the government fucking helps you for literally just in the short term so we can go back to normal as quickly as possible. And that didn't happen. So we're not going back to normal, and we're literally we're kicking the can further and further down. The irony is, like, people that no longer want to wear masks right now are the reason why we still have to wear masks right now. If people shut the fuck up and wear masks early on, and the government took appropriate action immediately, and there was an aggressive shutdown immediately, we would not have this issue right now. You understand? USA is vaccinated the most people in the world. Stop being a doom poster saying we are not going back to normal. You're getting hard to listen to. Oh shit, dude. The United States has vaccinated the most people in the world. Never mind. I was wrong, I guess. No, we are actually doing the best. Percentages don't matter. Thank you for that. Like, people are still saying I'm fucking doom posting with 400,000 plus people dead. I don't know what to say to that. Like, I legitimately don't know what to say to that. If I'm doom posting with 400,000 people dead from COVID, I don't know how I should be positive posting. There are COVID riots in Belgium. Riots are erupting. What the fuck? In the Netherlands, during protests over lockdown curfew, police used water cannons, tear gas, and dogs to disperse crowds as trouble broke out in several Dutch cities. What the fuck? What is happening, dude? A COVID test center was set on fire?
En met z'n allen hopelijk, maar het wordt niet altijd even mooi bericht, te laten zien dat dit gewoon een stem is.
Why is this dumbass wearing a MAGA hat, bro? What the fuck is going on, dude? Yo, dude, I hate being right on this. Remember when I told you guys, like, hey, all of you from fucking Europe, you're laughing at America, but like, we fucking spread our brain cancer at a higher rate than we fucking spread COVID. And you were like, no, it won't happen. Like, no, motherfucker, it literally happens. It's our #1 export, baby.
De stem van nee. We gaan echt in onze angst de verkeerde kant op. Begrijpelijk, maar heel erg de verkeerde kant op.
Netherlands did not want a fucking curfew. Dude, I don't know anymore. Like, I just literally don't know. I don't know what to say to any of that other than showing you the facts. And that is that lockdowns fucking work, masks work, and claiming that like it doesn't work 100%, which is why we should throw it out, is psychotic and is literally the reason why those measures don't end up working in the way that they're supposed to. So I don't know what else to I don't know what else to say. The Netherlands is literally the last country on earth I believe people would do this. I don't know, man. This bums me out more than like the fucking COVID news, honestly. Seeing people lose their fucking minds over this shit, like seeing people behave this way breaks my brain harder than anything else.
Moderna has released the results of a new study that shows its vaccine works against some emerging variants of the coronavirus. The study found Moderna vaccines protected against 2 variants, one found in the UK and the other in South Africa. The drug maker says its vaccine is just as effective at blocking the British variant as the original